Hey, hailing frequencies are open. I kind of went terribly. I tried. Welcome, everybody, to May the 4th Be with Star Trek. Hey, I hope everybody's having a fine May the 4th. Joining me is a illustrious cast of characters who are ready to...
Welcome, new citizen of the Empire.
Ready to join us on an adventure through space. Why don't we kind of go around and have everybody kind of give some introductions as to their characters,
Welcome,
giving an
new
idea.
Citizen of the Empire.
You know, we'll see from there. Why don't we start, of course, with Havila Vey. So, Lee.
Oh, joy. First of all, hey guys, I'm just Lee Belmont, your noble space explorer. Havila Vey, he is a hardened man from living on an isolated colony. His greatest accomplishments were having a serious injury and also being mauled by a space bear, which he has survived, but his left ankle is in jeopardy, somewhat. He's a tough guy. He's kind of like a jack of all trades, and he's surprisingly good with some of his stats. And, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's exactly what I want people to say. It's kind of like those like defining moments, because since it's a one-shot, we won't have time to get into these like really cool backstory elements that are kind of just part of your character. So throwing them out here to begin with is a good idea to get an idea of character. Say, why don't we go, Joe? How about you?
I am Sylvek I can speak today. Gershuth. I am half Klingon, half Vulcan. My parents were diplomats. I grew up on Kronos, which is the Klingon homeworld. During my tutelage in Starfleet Academy, I actually had a couple good experiences. Nothing life-threatening, thankfully. I had been mentored by a senior officer who I helped shuttle around for a while. And I also picked up a very interesting, rare language.
Nice. All right, Rachel, how about your character?
Alright, I am playing Verg Bim Slal, because I have no idea how to pronounce that.
No, that sounds perfectly. Vergbim Slaw.
Slal. I'm a Tellarite, and I grew up on whatever the home world of Tellarites is.
Tellarite, I think it is. I think it's just Tellarite.
Alright.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's Tellarite.
Yeah.
Okay. My two events, the first one was that I helped to deal with an infectious disease. I helped find some sort of cure for it, or at least some way to minimize the effects of it. And then the second one was I actually got sent on a very important mission to make first contact with a new race. That went very well and gave me some good diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
I like to pew pew and bang bang and push buttons.
By the way, correction, it's Teller is the homeworld.
Teller.
I like Tellarite better.
Also with us is Lindsay.
Hello, I am Ensign Malad Sabine, a trail science officer from one of the many busy colonies of the Trill people. I failed at being a joined Trill, so I went to the Starfleet Academy instead. In one of the training missions, things kind of blew up a bit. People died. My friend died. Sucks. But, you know, I solved it, so it's all good now.
There's some horrible deaths, but things got better. And, Worm.
My character is Groznik, and there is no surname because I'm a DeLorean.
You got it wrong there.
And I the Nobulin. Why
The
did I say
Nobulin. You are not a car.
Okay, I have no idea why I made that mistake. Anyway, the Nobulin. And I was raised on a very strange alien world called Earth.
Yep.
The horror.
It's a wretched place. Don't go there.
My mother is a vice admiral in Starfleet, so I've been in Starfleet kind of in most of my life. I, at one point, though, did take part in a kind of foreign exchange type program with Cardassians, and I learned a lot about their culture from that. On top of that, I also discovered some ancient artifact, which I never really decided what it was.
It's fine.
My character is training to be a pilot, but he does have a vested interest in both engineering and science as well.
Okay. And finally, Umber.
Blessings of the Omnisire be upon you, brothers. My character is Ensign Casey Williams. He is a... Oh, I love doing that. He's a engineer fresh out of Starfleet. He's a very techie person. He prefers engaging with, machinery and gadgets over other people. And to that end, he has a strong focus in both engineering and security to defend said machines, because you would not want the spirit of the machine to get upset. He received a commendation sometime in his life for saving the lives of a bunch of others, and due to this, has a little bit of experience with medicine. And that's pretty much him. Don't touch his machines; he will be very upset with you.
He will break you.
Yikes.
All right, so we kind of
break you.
Move in now, panning into the main space dock orbiting above Earth. This space dock has been here for some time. It's, of course, seen a lot of wear and tear. It's been over 100 years since it was completely completed, and it's a major port of entry and exit for, of course, the Earth orbit, for the Sol star system. And we kind of pan into going into an area in one of a kind of like small area with a bunch of seats where you'd be sitting around and kind of waiting for a shuttle to come in. And here we see a human, a Trill, and a Denoblian all kind of sitting around chatting. So, Lee, Lindsay, Worm, go. What are you talking about?
So, what are you guys in for?
I think I got caught in a rebel battle. Yeah. Why are we doing this? What? We know each other already. I'll punch you.
I don't know who you are. This is the first time I met you.
Are you sure about that?
I think so. I'm just here for the paycheck. I mean, let's be real.
Hello.
You don't actually get money because it's the future and we don't really have money.
Oh, what? There's no money in the future? I come from a business background.
This has already gone off the rails.
I come from a business background. This isn't the first thing to tell me.
It's not like the same kind. There's trade and stuff, but there isn't like money the same way.
It's all what you call it?
Different races have financial systems, but trade between them is kind of more a
barter system.
Case by case basis. Yeah.
There's got very heavy socialist tones, but it's the socialist utopia, so it's not like the bad version of it. It's the good parts of socialism that are in Star Trek.
Are we still able to make small talk?
Sure.
So how about those blasters? You know what I'm saying? I'm here to play with some guns.
I'm here to fly the ship.
Bunch of party animals here, I see.
Soon another human and Tellarite walk up, kind of arguing about some engine statistics or of some kind.
I told you, electroplasma power systems are superior than whatever you use on your home world.
I have no idea what we use on my homeworld. That's why I'm here to learn.
Well, clearly you're here because we have the superior technology. This is blatantly obvious. Even a Xenos can learn.
Too bad I didn't take some of that infectious disease to bring along.
What was that you said?
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
All of you here are kind of assembling for a new assignment. All of you are being assigned to the Enterprise, and the Enterprise is going to be getting some repairs and retrofits in Space Dock 12 or Space Station 12, which is quite a ways away. But you're supposed to be accompanied by a lieutenant commander who has a new, I wouldn't call it experimental, but like a upgraded runabout, which has a new Warp 6 engine in it that you're going to be testing out. That way it's only going to be a couple of weeks together on the runabout, rather than a couple of months to get there.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So
Can
are
I
any
push
of
the
you
big
excited?
red button?
Are any of you excited for the new tier Warp 6 engine that's supposed to be on this runabout? It's quite advanced.
Oh God, don't even get me started. It's such a sexy machine. Oh God, I want to carefully maintain its machinery.
I just
If
want.
you get anything stuck, you're not coming to me.
I'm not the medical person. Nope.
It's fine. I will tend to myself.
I
It
bet you.
sounds like that's what you were planning on to begin
What
with.
if he flips?
As
I'm
walking
excited.
up is
I'm excited to
a
see what it can do.
interesting looking. You're not sure what he is because he looks kind of Klingon, but like maybe something else. Accompanied by a Bolian man. Yes. Enough of the small talk. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to be the one taking you there. I have some business on Starbase 12. I'm going to be taking the runabout with us. It's the Hudson. So
you're saying I don't get to fly the ship?
if I need some assistance, I will let you know. I'll leave the other comm open. But oh, yes, I should introduce
What a
myself.
shame.
I am Lieutenant Commander Zim Brott.
Greetings, Lieutenant.
Greetings. I shake his hand. Can I do that?
Sure. If
Okay,
you don't
cool.
know what a Bolian is, they're these like kind of blue-skinned people that have like a ridge down the middle of their bodies,
Okay.
Including face.
including face. Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be working with you. I'm told we are going to be assigned upon the Enterprise, yes?
You will. I'm just accompanying you. They wanted an officer, and I have business out that way.
Ah.
I've worked on some of the systems on here. I was one of the people that helped develop the new, smaller Warp 6 engine that we're testing out here.
Is that so?
Yes.
So, mayhap while we are on our journey, perhaps I could pick your brain a little on its specifications.
Probably. But business first, travel first. We'll worry about it when we're in space.
Indeed.
More fun to just take things apart and learn. Manuals are boring.
Alright, so...
Let's not do that while we're flying.
So a runabout is slightly larger than a shuttle. It has some room, some places to sleep. Got like its own replicators, like a little eating area. It's still pretty cramped quarters for 7. Not that you don't have some room, but it reminds you a little bit about, your academy days. Some of you are just out of the academy. Others of you have had some small assignments around Earth, but nothing major as of yet. This is your first big assignment, a starship that you're all heading out to explore the unknown. And you're on the flagship even, too. Granted, you're only ensigns on the flagship of the Federation, but that's where you're going. It's a big honor. Yeah. And
Can I ask for his autograph? Because I've never traveled through space, and this is kind of like a monumentous occasion.
I mean,
Oh my goodness.
I'm a fanboy. What can I say?
Wow.
So the first couple of weeks are going to be uneventful. It will certainly be a chance for all of you to get to know each other to a degree. Some of you can be as withdrawn as you want to be. You can be as social as you want to be. It's the normal kind of thing when you have a crew of people. You will have chances to learn all about them, whether good or bad. And you start to get used to each other to a degree, kind of get an idea of what you're going to be. You kind of will have chances to review your assignments, your information, and the Lieutenant Commander Brott, he's actually pretty quiet. He answers a few questions for you, Umber, but he doesn't go into a lot of details. He just talks about, like, if you give him some things, he'll give you a spiel that sounds a lot like what someone would just give to a higher up in command that's, like, maybe not as big on the technical jargon. It's just a simplistic thing. He's like, we just developed some new techniques for cutting the size of the Warp 6 engine to replace the current Warp 5 engines that had been on the runabout. It wasn't a huge development. There had been some... It would have been pretty close. It was just that we managed to, put a few of the parts, figure out some ways to make them a little bit more efficient, a little bit more smaller. Just to cut things down a little bit. He will admit, if you press him, that he doesn't think he could get any... with how things currently are, he doesn't think he could get any smaller. So you couldn't get on something like a shuttlecraft, and he's not sure about getting anything above a Warp 6 engine at this point in time. So like Warp 7, Warp 8 engines, hey, those would be great to be on there. Those are on starships, if not higher, at this point in time. The flagship can go above Warp 9. There's no Warp 10, but,
No. Yet.
Is this at the point? Is this at the point in time where warp? What was it? You're not allowed to go above warp. What was it 8?
It's restricted like Warp 5, Warp 6. Yes, we are in that time period because we are in the 6th season of Star Trek Next Generation. For those of you watching at home that want to know the timeline, we are late season, later on in the season, 6th season, Star Trek Next Gen. So, around the early times of Deep Space Nine, too.
Yep.
Anyway, you go through the next week, and actually some kind of tensions happen. It's like when you're on a starship, you have a chance to be apart from people, but on a runabout for like nearly a month, it's not great. It's not great. You're very close to each other, often. So
anytime I touch a button, they all see.
Yeah.
Shit. I'm like, ooh.
No, don't touch that!
No!
What are you trying to blow us all up?
It's not
Looking at
labeled.
that
If they labeled it better, then I would know,
It
and I
doesn't
would.
need to be labeled. We know what it does.
What does it do?
It does a thing, okay? It does not matter what it does. Don't touch it.
I'm
The people that know what it does know what it does.
I'm with Casey on this one.
Nope.
That
The
one
only
in
way to
most
learn
cases,
is to touch
that
things.
I agree.
Unless
We
it's
need to
labeled.
touch every button to figure out what each of them
Please.
do in each combat
Casey is
scenario.
going to get something to write on and label,
Or
put a
you
note
can
above it.
read
Listen,
the-
do not touch
You
that.
go around with a label maker.
I have some sticky tape.
Quick questions. How many fingers do Tellarites have?
I think they have the standard number.
5.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I can push 10 buttons at once, guys. Let's go.
I think the smarter thing would be to read the technical manuals to know what they do.
Reading is so
Not
boring, though.
just touching it.
Aren't you the engineer?
Yes, I learn by doing, not by reading.
I do not want you anywhere near my machines.
I like that attitude.
I learn by doing, not by reading.
Touch
Sounds
those
like you
machines.
should-
Don't touch these
As
machines.
you're having like this
Okay.
argument out back, Lieutenant Commander Brott is just gonna kind of come in. He's checking over it, like he looks like he's reading over something in a pad. He's just like, just make sure you put back anything and you don't break anything. As he kind of goes over to the replicator,
Yes.
like gets like some kind of like something like similar to a coffee, and then he just leaves.
See, those buttons. You can go touch those buttons, alright?
I just watched what they did. I don't need to touch them now.
Well, maybe they do something else if you push them in a different order, yes?
Alright, I'm gonna go over and just start pushing all the buttons on the machine.
You just
in random
you
orders.
replicate something. You're not sure. It looks
Something edible?
No, it's never anything
Nah.
alive.
Looks like what my cat threw up 7 years ago.
On closer inspection, it reveals that it is in fact some kind of, it would be considered like an Andorian delicacy of some kind, but it's like one of those delicacies that not a lot of people eat because it's probably not that really good. It's like here on Earth, you've got those things that are considered delicacies that people do not eat. It's
Like
something-
full testicles.
Yeah. So it's something.
I'm
it's
gonna
equivalent
walk
to that.
over and just taste it.
Yeah. It's fine. I mean,
I'd probably try it.
you grew up on Klingon food, so I mean, you're used to worse.
Be better.
Exactly.
I like my food alive,
Different.
thank you.
Oh. I will try again.
You can't get fresh, gach from a replicator because it doesn't replicate alive. You gotta get that stuff imported, man.
Ah,
Yeah.
It's gotta be alive.
But I also do like some Vulcan dishes.
Mm-hmm. Mama didn't teach you badly.
I just don't adhere to the vegetarian lifestyle that she does.
That's why you mix some meat within your vegetables. That's why you have your gawk on your salad.
It fattens them up while you eat them.
God. Anyway, so you'll be about 3 weeks in. So you've gone a pretty good distance. You've gone over most of 2 sectors, and it's pretty late in the night. Most of you are in bed. 2 of you are still up with Lieutenant Commander. Joe, your character's up, and Lee, your character's up. Lee, basically, you're pretty much just been put in charge of like watching some sensors and stuff.
Okay.
I
want to say my character is
your
also...
character is technically awake, but you're probably just relaxing in the back. You're basically kind of off duty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you are technically awake as your Denoblian, and they do not sleep. But you're like in the back in like the kind of common room, just kind of sitting there, probably like having some food or reading something. Maybe catching up on some.
I mean, he could go into a hibernative state for a month.
It's only a couple of days, thank you very much. A year.
It's like a week, but...
Well, yes, but they can do it, basically, they can just decide, I'm going to do this now.
Mm-hmm. You do have
this is a long journey, I don't want to deal with it.
You could have already done it. It could have been a while that you didn't see Groznik for a while, for like a couple of days.
Is he dead?
Wait, what was his name?
Groznik.
I think I saw a foot poking
I
out
totally wrote
behind
down
the
something
latrine,
different.
So.
Anyway.
So sensors, huh?
Yeah, you're kind of like just watching the sensors.
Pew pew.
Lieutenant Commander Broad is just kind of sitting there. He's looks like he's been catching up on reading on this entire trip. If any of you have like kind of got an eye, it looks to be like some kind of Boolean classical literature.
I was hoping it was gonna be like.
Yeah,
Smart.
I probably would have noticed.
Yeah.
I tell him to tell me more about it, as I too am into reading and writing.
Yeah, he
probably
would
I
have
whip
been...
out my signed copy of How to Win Friends and Influence People just to impress them just a little bit.
It's like that's a classic book, but it certainly wasn't classic now. But it's like 300 years. It really will be a classic.
It's like an artifact.
Yeah.
Typical gold shirt brown noser.
Anyway, he'll give you some respect about it. He'll kind of at least mention it and say like where you could find it in the ship's library that you have on here if you were looking for it, kind of thing like that. Again, he'll still be his same tactern that he doesn't really say a lot. But you're sort of on duty as he's like he is reading, but he seems like he's still like he has mastered that kind of thing. Like he's at the controls still. So he'll read a little bit, he'll then check everything, make everything sure it's good, kind of thing. It's more, I feel like he's kind of like he's been putting all of you on like small duties here and there to keep you sharp during this time. Because
I was going to say to him, if you'd like, sir, I could take the second con position.
Sure. Yeah. Why don't you keep an eye out on it? If something goes wrong, let me know. I'll just continue relaxing here.
No
if
problem.
I'm needed, I'll be right here. All right. It's getting pretty late. It's getting kind of like the time where you'd be kind of switching some shifts here, and Lee, you get a kind of strange signal.
Ooh, my sensors are beeping a little bit more than usual, and then at a different color as well.
Okay.
Is this supposed to be making this sound?
Lee,
It says danger.
Why don't you roll for me a
Sure.
let's say a engineering reason on this one.
Okay, so I do a task roll for this?
You do task roll.
2 dice?
2 dice. 1 difficulty.
It's supposed to be making that red flashy.
Okay, so you got 2. So you kind of
Actually, that would be...
You roll
4.
control command still.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to press the
whatever stat is
buttons.
what's appropriate. So you have to treat like the stat as a button almost.
But that would have been actually 4 successes.
This is under dice roll?
Those were all 1s.
No, under attributes, you select the one you need to do. And this
No,
one.
it was a 14 and 8. The 1 is a market that is.
Oh,
16.
I had both
Oh,
control and command.
I'm sorry.
So
Yeah.
I was looking at it wrong.
So I was already good.
Yeah. So you should have. Well, I said it was reason engineering.
Oh, reason. My bad.
Yeah.
I can do that again.
Reason and engineering.
Bam.
2 zeros. Ah,
Okay. It was one
Oh no,
success.
there is 1.
Yeah.
So that's 3 successes.
No,
Right.
no,
Or did you-
No,
or
no,
did
that's,
you-
that's my
these
actual
aren't
roll.
the rolls.
That's my
These are just markers of
Yeah,
success.
I see 8 and engineering 1. Oh wait, I'm looking at it wrong.
Those
No,
are-
the
those-
actual roll is a 7. The
No,
1 is
he
a
has
7
an
and the 0 is a
engineering
14.
skill of
Yeah,
a
I was
discipline of
looking
1.
at it wrong.
Yeah.
Where the heck does it actually say the?
If you highlight it thing, you can see the base dice roll. It's like
Okay.
he rolled
Over
a
it?
14 and a 7.
Yeah, the bottom leftmost number in brackets.
I see it now.
Yeah. So, yeah, okay.
Sorry.
It takes you a minute to kind of punch in, and it actually is something coming in through the communications rather than the sensors. The sensors are pretty clear. It seems to be some kind of signal you're getting. It's very weak.
It sounds like radio static from another dimension. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I feel like I must alert the crew of this.
So what are you
I
going
alert
to
the
say?
crew.
Okay.
Yeah, I just say like, yo, there's something weird going on with the sensors, guys. I can faintly hear something. We should probably do something about it. Maybe it's a distress signal or something.
Ooh, let's push some buttons.
You hear something on the
You're
sensors?
asleep. Be quiet.
It's
Yeah, I hear
communication-
something on
the
I thought you said he was
communications.
waking us all up.
Yeah, I shake everyone to like wake the heck up like immediately because
Okay.
it seems
Well,
important.
technically speaking, you would tell the commanding officer at this point in time.
He's
Okay.
relaxing.
Grot.
Don't bother him.
He's just sitting there right next to you, kind of thing, though.
Shh, don't tell him.
Okay, I tell him about
We
that.
got this.
What did you find?
I told him that I heard I
Well, you
heard
say.
this.
Go ahead and say it, yeah.
I hear this weird signal, distorted noise thing. It's coming very faintly through the sensors.
Here, let me check it out. He's gonna kind of come in. He's gonna punch some stuff in. He'll seemingly do a check of his own. I'll just probably use the dice roller for myself. Let's see what he rolls. Okay, he's like, huh, that's odd.
What do you detect, good sir?
It seems to be some kind of like an automated distress signal, a very weak one.
Do tell.
Go
Are we
on.
gonna act on this? Like, should we like do something to help them out? I feel like the crew has a right to know about this.
Give me a minute here. Let's figure out what's going on first, and then if we need to wake the crew, we'll wake the crew. I need you to check and see if is there any other vessels in the nearby area. Ensign V, please do that. Ensign Gershuth, please see if there's any systems in the nearby area. What would be close by that they could be coming from?
Okay.
Okay, so I want both of you to make a check as he's asking you to do things here. It will be, of course, for you, Lee, since you're trying to sort of see if there's any other... yes, everybody else is asleep. You'll be waking up soon. Do not worry.
Oh, ponies!
Sad, because I could, in theory, have a focus to this.
Theory. I mean, if they're having problems, they could always wake you up. Let's see if they choose to.
Yeah. Oh, I have astronavigation to focus, so...
Please
Should I
roll
roll
me
for it?
Insight Command for you, and for Reason Science for you, Joe.
Okay.
Alright, I got a 1 and a 1.
So you get 2 successes. Okay, that's
Sweet.
good. Yep.
And I got none.
Yeah. So, you're trying to like look through. Technically speaking, I was putting it at a 0 difficulty for you, Joe. I wasn't let you know that. So it just is like you do find the information, but that's about it. You just find that there's a couple of systems nearby. One particularly close. You don't know a lot about it at all, though.
Right.
Lee, you will be able to basically... everybody, you have a momentum. Let me notice that, because he does get 1 extra success than he needed. So there's a momentum in your pool.
One momento.
But you can tell that there are no nearby starships. You seem to be the closest currently. There are some couple of starships a little ways out.
Starships.
Starfish.
The thing is, like, you might be closest because of your new engines. That's the only reason why you'd be the closest right now. There is a couple of vessels that would maybe be a extra day away that would have a faster engine, but it would be an extra day. You're estimating.
Okay.
Are you going to let people know that, then?
Yes, I want to wake everyone up violently and let them know this.
Yay, violent waking.
Okay.
You report to
So
And,
you're
I don't want to tell the captain either. I just want to do that.
You're
Can I do that?
abandoning your spot.
Yeah. To wake everyone
Yay,
up?
buttons to be pushed.
Yeah, I want to do that. Am I allowed to?
No, well, you could. You'll probably get
was
trouble.
summarily discharged from Starfleet.
Well, are you letting Brad know?
Alright, I let him know, but like, I tell him,
He
like,
will
yo,
probably
look.
say then, if we're the closest vessel, then we should probably go investigate it, see if we can offer assistance. Even if we can't give a permanent assistance, maybe we can keep something going until it. Why don't you get the rest of the crew up? We seem to be within a couple hours of this location here. What did you find out about the system, Ensign Grush?
It's this way.
It's the Academy system.
It's the Academy system. I can put in a heading if you like.
Yes, I haven't heard a lot about that. All right. If we're going to emergency, I'm going to take stock of what we have on the ship in case we need to replicate anything. Put in the coordinates. Ensign V, wake up the rest of the crew, get them ready. If we need to offer some kind of assistance, we should be ready with medical or repair equipment, just in case we need it. All right. Looks like you guys are having a little bit of extra training early on.
Always up for a challenge, sir.
All right.
Pew pew.
So everybody gets up.
Violently?
V, I told you so many times not to touch me there. That's my shoulder.
I thought that was a different part of your body, and I apologize because I thought it was your knee, and I didn't mean it.
How do you mix up a shoulder with a knee?
I'm the kind of guy that has both 2 left feet and 2 left hands. It just kind of happens.
It just happens.
Yeah.
These things.
You walk in on me clipping my gross denobulin toenails.
Oh,
They are gross and they are
I throw up
told you not to
slightly
do
in my
that in
mouth.
here.
He was doing it in his own bunk. But the problem
Not
thing
here
is
in the ship at all.
he was probably sharing a bunk with Casey, who's very asleep.
Should you be clipping those not in your bunk? Like,
They're raining down on whoever's below.
I'm thinking that Grosnick
Look, if I
might
don't
have the
clip-
bottom
If I
bump.
don't clip them, they'd grow through my shoes.
I rip out a piece of paper from one of the books that I carry around with me so he can use it as a napkin to like clean his stuff up.
There's ways of cleaning that up. It's okay. We have
There already
space.
was one down. I'm not a monster.
Are you sure?
He'll put them in the replicator because that's how you dispose of a lot of things. The replicator.
Isn't that the thing that makes food?
It basically turns other stuff into good stuff.
It turns so it takes matter and turns it into energy, and takes energy and turns it into matter.
Yeah.
It's quite the deceptive name.
Uh-huh. It's also the disposal. That is literally the way that these ships dispose of things. But not just other waste. Your carbon dioxide is also replicated back into oxygen. So technically the oxygen scrubbers are basically a replicator.
Ensign V, if you've woken me for anything other than an emergency, I'm going to lay you out, sir.
First of all, don't speak to me in that tone. Second of all, this is an emergency. People are in trouble and we need to help them.
I don't see any emergency klaxons blaring.
Listen,
Yeah,
we
isn't there
have
like a
the
siren?
Sensors. Yeah, the sensors tell us everything, right? That's
Are the
what
red
I've been
lights
taught
on?
in my academy.
I think
Yes,
he's
all the
right.
red lights
I
are
can
on.
turn them on if you wish.
Casey's flicking his phaser to stun.
V hides down under the bunk bed out of fear he'll be shot.
It's like not even your room. Just crawl under the bunk beds.
It's my first day.
I will drag you out of there, sir.
I don't think he's looking very happy over there. I think we should maybe go.
I'm alright. I turned on all the red lights and walked out.
I say whatever issues we have, we can resolve them after we save the people.
I don't think we're in red alert.
You can shoot me later.
You're
I'll
not
give
red
you one
alert.
shot.
You're
Going
not
to the
red
engine.
alert.
It's not red alert, but I'm just making it. He said he needed an emergency, so I'm giving an excuse for emergency. I'm making red lights flash like
Oh, you're just,
things
like,
are happening.
you're just switching the lights of the room over to red and turning them on and off.
God. Well, at least it's not the room I'm in, so that's fine. I don't care.
You're like,
God, I'm going to the engine room.
I actually go over the comms.
There
system
isn't
and
much
I'm
of an
like,
engine room.
"Wee,
Technically, you access the
wee."
engines through like either the common room or the like cockpit.
This is acceptable. Machines don't talk.
So
Just sit like sit like a ditch in the floor that panel. You pull
Quite
up.
happily, yes.
I get out from under the bed because I'm assuming I never left that. I didn't mention that.
probably.
Just waited until Casey stalked out of the room.
Yeah. Okay, the coast is clear. I'm good.
Is that like
As
going to be
long
like a
during this
new
fiasco,
thing?
Go to the cockpit.
Fear of Casey, like it's the
I mean,
problem.
he threatened to shoot me, right? Like, or to lay me out. Like,
He
of
did.
course I'm scared.
Do I need to make any kind of roll to set course?
Sure.
Sure.
Please roll me a.
Fingers medicine.
Let's see here.
Are you
A
healthy enough
control
to set a
con.
course?
Control con.
So,
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want to spend?
Is that a complication?
It's a complication. You could spend your momentum to remove said complication. You have one. I think it would be.
It's probably best at this point
We're so
not
early
to
on.
get complicated this early.
I don't know what you're talking about. I like
Back down to
complications.
0 momentum.
From
Yeah,
the one
where's our moment? Like, where's the way to see the
You
moment?
mark it down. On
you
your
can
sheet.
mark it.
Yeah,
Each
yeah.
of you, because it's a group pool, you can mark it.
I
down.
made a red mark on the back, on the thing, the grid on the in there.
Okay,
We,
Oh,
we
yeah,
should
I see
also
that.
keep track of it on our own sheet, so we should currently be at 0 momentum.
got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so eventually, Lieutenant Commander Brott will kind of like come to each of you and kind of give some basic assignments. He's gonna have Ensign Slaw, Ensign Williams. The two of you are to make sure that the engines are going as you're going to be maxing them out. You've been kind of like probably not going quite at warp 6. You may be going like at warp 5.5 the entire time or something like that, or 5.7. He's like, we're going to switch all the way to warp 6.
I shall feed the hamsters. They will go faster.
Yes.
I will ensure they run smooth, Lieutenant.
Groznik, you're going to take the one helm, one con, while he's going to leave Grushith at the other. V,
Finally, I get to run this at full capacity.
he's going to throw you and keep you on communications, and he's going to and sensors. You're going to keep on the sensors and communications. So if you hear anything on communications differently, like if you get like a bit more than just an automated distress call, or if you detect anything on sensors, you're supposed to like kind of let him know. Sabine, you're going to go with him and basically get together all the materials that you will need, possibly. You're going to basically see what kind of materials you have on the ship. It's like some medical supplies, replicate a few things, some engineering tools in case it's more like an engineering problem. You want to be ready for anything.
We are ready.
A few
I'm good
hours.
at creating stuff.
A few hours pass, and you enter into the Acali system. Now, does since none of you really know about the Acali system, does one of you want to look up information on it while you're here? While you're busy working, you will have an opportunity. Probably one of the people at the con or Lee, you would be able to. Sabine, you'd probably have an opportunity.
I haven't
to.
rolled yet.
Okay.
Go for it.
So, like, you'll be like, let me see if I can find any information about where we're going, kind of thing. So,
Roll.
I'm banging things with wrenches.
we'll say reason science to kind of know about what they've developed up here.
Okay.
Alright. You do get a momentum. Congratulations.
Yo.
Okay. The Acali system is home to a pre-warp culture, the Acali people on Acali Prime. There are 7 worlds in their system, complete. Starfleet regularly does observe them. There's currently only automated observation above their planet, kind of observing their pre-warp culture. There's currently no active studies on them. They are one of the earliest cultures that were discovered by humanity as a pre-warp civilization. One of the earliest pre-warp civilizations they discovered. So they've been keeping an eye on them for like a couple hundred years, periodically. They are probably pretty far from becoming a warp culture. We're just going to leave it at that one. They were like Middle Ages when they were first met. So think about how long it took humanity to get warp culture. Yes.
They might be like early industrial then.
Yeah, by now.
Wow.
Ooh.
The signal seems to be coming from Acali 5. I make the information, I compile the information and make it available for everyone to read if they so choose.
Okay.
Reading? Can't you just put it over like the sound system?
I
Like
will.
an audiobook?
No, Ensign Vey, you can try to use the sensors, or if you're not competent, you can see if someone else would be there. There's only one person that's kind of not there, and they're showing up, so everybody's in the cockpit. But Sabine, you're kind of just supposed to be like assisting as you can, as everything's together, as he's just going to give some final checks.
I want some assistance from my pal Sabine to help me understand a little bit more about these sensors and what exactly the yellow light means.
I love lights.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go the slaw route with this. You're gonna push the yellow button, because it's gonna make other buttons pop up.
Okay, Sabine, please roll me... God. Presence... we'll say presence engineering. Instruct him. 1 dice. Just 1 dice.
Oh, just 1.
Well, we'll take the first dice you rolled. Oh, there you go. So you get a success. Okay. So now, Lee, you're going to roll me reason, we'll say engineering for this, for using the sensors correctly.
All right. I'll do that. 2 dice or 1?
2 dice. Basics. Unless you want to spend to get extra dice. Alright, so you get 2 successes overall because you add Ensign Sabine's success to yours. You didn't not need more than 1 at this case, so you do have 2 momentum now. Congratulations.
Yay!
Now, the sensors are telling you, you kind of like scan the sensors out to scan the systems. It does seem to be coming from the 5th planet. It's an automated distress. It seems to be Federation in origin. It just seems to be a basic distress signal. It doesn't have any information attached to it. And it seems to be coming from an L-class planet.
So breathable atmosphere, but very harsh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you're letting everybody know, one of you knows something. Groznik, you know there was no L-class planet in this system.
I want to let everyone know.
L-class is basically like somewhat survivable for humanoids. It's like very harsh world.
Yeah, it's depending. It can be either like extreme cold, extreme heat, very little vegetation.
Like,
but
you have to consider L-class planets tend to have, not always, but tend to have very little fauna. They have mostly flora, if anything, is a good way of describing them.
Ah, good. Man-eating plants.
I go yell at the rest of the crew saying, like, this is like you said it was a Federation thing, was it?
It's a Federation signal.
Yeah, I say, like, guys, we found, like, a Federation signal.
That's all you have to do.
Okay, we found it.
We're all here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all got communicators.
Well, you're also tending all in the same room.
Yeah, and there's also a ship's. There's also, I'm sure, a ship's comm that would
I'm
broadcast.
standing right next to you, V. You don't have to shout in my ear like you do every single day.
He's like, but there's a thing!
There's a thing, the yellow light. Sure you know how to operate the comm system.
Where's the Federation signal coming from?
There?
Sabine, tell him.
That way.
Can't wait.
Planet
It's-
5 of the.
It actually is coming from Planet 5 of the system. It's an L-class planet.
Do we know what the weather conditions are? Are there any storms or anything? in the
Rosnick,
area?
that froze up a flag in your mind because you
Yes.
had looked that up, and you know that there wasn't
Yes.
an L-class
But-
planet here.
There is no L-class planet on this system, not according to the research I have. Not according to the data I pulled up.
Well then, wait, hold on. How do we
According
know
to
it's-
your data, the 5th planet is a K-class, which is a frozen planet. Something like a Mars or a Titan would be K-class.
I mean, there are some options for how this may have happened, but I do not think that this is. Well, this wasn't here the last time these records were updated.
Yeah,
which
I was
were
gonna
a
say,
couple
so
of
is
years
this, like,
ago. It's not very long ago. The last expedition here to check out the Acolyte people checked out the rest of the planets and would have seen it, you know. So this is in the last couple of years. There's been a major shift in the environment on that planet.
Well, is there any radiation emanating from it?
Sensors say no.
Should just need to bring our thermal underwear if it's cold, right?
Well, no, he said it's
It
Was
L
it's not. It was frozen. V.
the
It was
Wikipedia
frozen.
wasn't updated. Okay,
Okay,
so
well there you go. See, I had the older iteration of that,
Yeah.
which is why I
He
was
just
confused.
told you.
yeah.
Maybe
I
there
got
was some kind
short-term
of,
memory loss
How
due
did
to
you
being
pass
multi
the
space
Starfleet?
mirror.
maybe there was some kind of tectonic shift.
It's possible. There may have also been some other sort of phenomena that may have pushed the planet closer. What is the current distance from this system, from the star? Has it moved?
If you want to
Get
make me
data on
another
that.
reason engineering check to check the sensors again, see if there's any difference. If you're sticking with it, V.
I am on the case, my good sir.
He's just like smashing his face on the thing.
I got
you
this.
push some
What did I
buttons,
tell you?
You're like
It's a miracle I made it through the academy.
you're like clicking some buttons, and you're like
You push him harder, man.
Would you like some assistance?
Do I have to?
I don't
Did
think
your
we
leg
need
give
two
you
people.
an affection, V? Do I have to go check it out?
I would appreciate any help you could give me, Sabine, as this is not my specialty.
It really isn't. That's what he's probably saying there.
Yeah, your reason in engineering? The button pusher.
Basically.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to deal with people, not buttons.
I push people's buttons.
There you go.
Like,
Mine
Slaw, do
every
you want
day
to
we're
replace him
together.
and get on the sensors?
Please do.
Who are you putting on the sensors?
You!
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I come up like with both fingers like extended to like, yes. Okay. Boop.
Not all the buttons.
I'm
Alright,
just doing this
so-
as like a hand gesture for like, thank you.
It's a task roll, right?
It is a task roll.
Reason, engineering, and then
If you have some kind of focus in, like, sensors... then-
I tell her look at the yellow.
Could I assist at all?
sure.
Could I assist?
One of you could probably get in there to assist. How about we have, William...
I do have technical expertise under talents, but I don't know what that does because it doesn't give me any
You have to
information.
choose a technical expertise.
I think, let me
It didn't tell me which one to choose.
No,
It
that's
didn't
a
tell
little
me.
different. Technical expertise was a little
Yeah, those have
Oh, okay.
effects that I don't remember what they actually are.
That one is, when you attempt a task assisted by the ship's computers or sensors, you may re-roll 1d20. Well, you are being a task assisted by the sensors, technically.
Okay.
So you can re-roll a d20.
Okay.
Does the ship's sensors actually get? Sometimes
It is
I
the
know they
tool
get
you are
rolls.
using to do this. Normally, otherwise, it's you stare at space and try to tell something going on.
No, I know rules-wise, normally ships will have a level of assistance itself, depending on the rankings of systems.
Yes, I'm keeping it very basic. I'm not
Okay.
I'm not including like a huge number pool at the moment, kind of for you guys.
Okay.
All right.
But if Ensign Williams, if you want to roll a presence engineering to basically instruct Slaw a little bit. You can roll a single dice because you are assisting.
All right. Does my
Watch
focus count
carefully.
because it's focus computers?
Sure.
My eyes are
Watch-
glued to the console.
Your hands? Why are your hands on the
No, I said
console?
my eyes, my eyes.
There
Okay,
you go.
and then you can roll your reason engineering, then Ensign Slaw.
Is it 1 day? Okay, so it's complication is 1, but then task is 2.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure I have all these clicked it right because that's clicking all over stuff.
Okay. So you'll kind of like punch in everything. It was difficulty 1 though, if you're keeping track of that kind of thing.
So we get a momentum.
You
So
do.
mine's
Sweet.
Yeah.
So we're up to
So we
3.
have 3 momentums.
Yep. You kind of like are scanning the planet, kind of figure out. It does seem to be actually at the exact same placement as it should have been previously from the information, as you compare it with the information Grosnik had gotten together.
So I basically open up 2 like screens and I have like the current view and the Wikipedia view, and I'm like,
Kind of like that. Well, you
Nope,
you like
they're
talk
the same.
effectively, yeah.
This can't be right.
that is
Its
odd.
location is the exact same as the last recording.
Again, tectonics can warm a planet.
To this
Uh,
degree in so short a time?
have we arrived? What's going
I was
on?
about
What
to
have you
say.
found?
wait, I have a question. It's L does not necessarily mean hot though. It just means unbreathable, right?
It
No,
means,
it's breathable.
it
Oh.
means that
It means harsh to life,
Yeah.
but not
it's-
impossible.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not completely frozen over now. It
Yeah.
can support some life.
L-class planets tend to be the planets that are the most open to terraforming because they are close to being able to be supported by life very easily.
Okay.
Sir, there's a planet here that does not match our records.
Not so much our records. Let me see here.
Last
He'll kind of
recording
like
was-
look over what Grosnik found, look over what you found. That's strange. And the signal seems to be coming from here. Do we have any records of any Federation ships in the area? Oh, I guess who do we have on computer information right now? Grosnik?
I
I think Grosnik's still doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I guess I'm
He's
kinda-
still
okay.
Wikipediaing,
He's still
Googling.
Wikipedia. I guess Google the next. I guess computer the next information. So it's another reason science, I guess.
Sign. Okay.
Actually,
Yeah,
wait,
'cause
no.
I'm on
This
the
is
scanners,
Federation
right?
thing. So reason con actually,
Sweet.
yeah, because you're trying to look up ship like. Okay. It was a bit difficult to, so it was difficulty 2 at this time, so you got it.
Okay.
I'll try to announce difficulties before I have you roll from now on, because that's probably a better idea.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
That way we can shoot, because if it's difficulty 3, we need to spend dice to
Yes.
succeed.
You managed to kind of chart out all the a lot of the starships that have been moving around in the area and traveling through here, and it doesn't seem like
I
any.
should have added astronavigation. Oh well, I succeeded anyway.
Yeah. Okay. You didn't see any kind of sign of like anything that would have been in the area close by to here. At least something that should have been here.
No ships have been here within a recent period.
I guess the last one here was the survey team that was visiting a couple years back.
It appears so.
All right. Looks as though the ship is in the northern hemisphere. Let's get us into an orbit.
I have a quick question as a player.
Sure.
Federation, good, bad, indifferent?
Good.
We are
Okay.
Federation.
We are
Okay.
Federation.
You are
Good,
like
that's okay.
You are
not
uto-
rebel scum. Got
No, think of yourselves as like utopia type people. You are like the best that humanity has to offer.
it. Oh, we're screwed.
Yeah. No, that's what the Federation became. It's like the best of humanity kind of thing. There's still flaws here and
Diplomats
there.
and
Yeah.
No,
So we have
flaws.
a button pushing engineer, a shooty engineer, a person who can't push buttons to save his life.
He does. He
And
just
two
doesn't push them hard
Googlers.
enough.
I just pushed the wrong ones.
We said the yellow, not the blue. Are you colorblind? Did you get tested for color blindness? Maybe that's the problem.
They might have skipped that test. I might have had to pay them a little, but.
Did you skip that day?
Maybe.
I'm sure
Medical.
Ensign Slaw would be happy to perform some percussive maintenance upon you.
I pull a wrench out.
Percussive maintenance, yes.
Commander,
He starts
sir.
sweating nervously.
All right, why don't we take our first break as we're going into orbit of the planet, as you're getting a Federation signal from Akalai 5, mysteriously. And we'll be back shortly, and hope to see you when we return.
For more button pushing. Boop, 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 boop.